Hello, guys. Thank you for bearing with me. There's been a little bit of technical difficulties, so we're just waiting. We're just waiting for Patty Jackson to come into the room, and then we will start the interview. Hello, everyone. I think I'm doing this. Yeah, I think I'm doing this right. Hey! I think I'm inviting her to the Hey!
Hello, how you doing?
Hey, how are you doing?
Fine.
Oh, well, first I want to tell you thank you so much for being reachable. And I always admired your hair, and you do have a very, very beautiful smile.
I can't hear anything. Something has happened.
Yeah, something is a little bit of a technical difficulties. Let me look. I know
Well, I
my
can hear you
phone.
now. I can hear you now, and people are coming in. So hi to everybody that's coming in. Let's get started.
Sure. Um, so the first question I wanted to ask you was, what was it like? What was it like growing up in South Philadelphia?
A lot of fun. You knew your neighbors, fun neighborhood. You just knew everybody on the block, and of course around the neighborhood.
Yeah. Um, what inspired you to like get in so what inspired you to get into like radio
I always
and
had
things like
something to say. I was the kid who knew what was going on, always loved pop culture and entertainment. And it was just a natural for me. I was the basketball announcer. I was the announcer in church. I did the church poems. I was always in front of a microphone.
I was listening to a past interview, and I know that you're a huge sports fan.
Yes.
Who's your favorite team? Like
Well,
what well, there's many sports, but one of your favorite teams?
I love the Sixers. The Eagles stress me out. I love the Phillies. I love Philly sports teams, but the Eagles can stress me out a lot.
Indeed. Indeed. Um, so can you tell me about the shows that you host on WDSFM? And also, you also host a new, like kind of like a new podcast called Patty and the Millennials.
Well, Patty the Millennials has been around for 6 years, so it's not
Oh,
old.
wow.
I do middays
Okay.
on WDAS, 10 a.m. to 3. I do a Sunday morning kind of like news public affairs program, which is taped, called a Rewind from 8 until noon. And on Sunday nights, I do the oldies, the wide, wonderful world of butter.
That's definitely awesome. Are there any like new projects that you're up to right now, like as far as the radio or anything like that outside of it?
I'm in the process of writing a book. So very
Yes.
interested in something like that. I'm writing a book.
Wow. Wow. Has that been a long process, or you just like started thinking
Yes,
about writing a
long,
book?
nope, long process, more difficult than I ever imagined, more work than I ever imagined. You got to be really disciplined when you write a book, and I'm very busy.
Sure, sure. There's like another thing that I found interesting about you is that like before all of this stuff was happening, like before podcasts and vlogcasts, you're like back like when that's like the origin of what we do now. It's like the blueprint of what we do now. And that's like super interesting to me and super exciting and still to be
Well,
like doing it.
it constantly evolves. I also have a YouTube channel.
Sure.
It's busy. You just keep pivoting to like different things to get the word out. Like I said, I love pop culture. I love entertainment. So doing that is fun.
So also I want to ask was what do you feel like makes a good interviewer?
One that takes the time to listen to what the person is saying, Be prepared with your questions and your knowledge about that person. Try not to say a lot, but
Hmm.
know your subject, and know who you're talking to and what you're asking. And it really makes an interview go well.
And if someone is looking to be like inspiring to be a journalist or inspiring to be a host, what can they do better like to help them like with language? Because you have like a really great voice.
Well, voice takes time to develop. I've been doing this
Mhm.
39 years. So, 39 years ago, I sounded like a kid. Your voice has to
Mhm.
develop, and when you're doing it over time. If you have to take a speech class so that you can speak well. The most important thing, you want people to be able to understand what you're saying. So slurring words and things like that, you got to have your speech. It's not about talking perfectly. You want
Right.
people to be able to understand everything you're saying.
That's some great advice. So I did want to ask another question, and I wanted to ask what was some of the challenges or obstacles you faced as being like a woman in radio?
Well, you have to constantly prove yourself. You have to
Mhm.
constantly step up to your plate and literally be better than the next person. You have to be willing to step up. The challenges are, you're constantly proving yourself that you can do this. So there's always that challenge and rising up and being able to do the work.
What is some of the best advice? What is some of the best advice? So this is a two-part question. The first part is, what is some of the best health advice? Because actually, that's one of the things that I really loved about your interviews. When I seen you doing interviews like with other people, is you had some really, really good health advice. What is like some
Drink
of your best
water.
health advice?
Drink water. Drink your
What?
water. Drink your
Hmm.
water. Water is the best thing that you could put in your body. Drink water. It's good for your skin. It's good for your health. You know that. I'm never going to say don't have any sweets because sweets are great, but do things in moderation. But water is the best thing that you can do for your health.
Do you do you still do you still do
I
panels
haven't
or
really
events?
since COVID.
Yeah.
I still do some things Zoom like, but not a lot, not like I did before pre-COVID.
What was the last like panel?
Gosh, I can't even
You can't
remember
remember.
because everything just wrapped up so quickly. Are you talking about pre-COVID or I can't, I would have to think a while. Everything wrapped up so fast.
It did. It did. Due to like everything that happened with the entertainment industry and with like live events and everything like that, where do you see the future of live events and live shows?
It's coming back.
It's
It's
coming.
coming back and it's going to come back stronger than ever. Shows, concerts, all of these things are coming back. Obviously, if we get more into a herd immunity where people have to get vaccinated because you must protect yourself, but they're coming back stronger than ever.
With Patty and the Millennials, who is your co-hostess and who do you have on?
I have a variety of millennials, Gen X, men, women, literally great voices. And we can agree to disagree, but it's good to have an opportunity to talk with people and talk about lighter things, relationships, things that are happening right now. So I have surrounded myself, which is a great panel of people who They just bring it every week, and the conversations are really good.
What were some of or one of your fondest memories of interviewing celebrities or actors? Like, what was one of the favorites? Because you
I've
interviewed so
interviewed
many
so many
people.
people. Quincy
Mm.
Jones, a legend.
Hmm.
I really enjoyed talking with him because his music career is just so vast, so that definitely stands out. And I've had a chance to interview him twice. I'm pretty lucky to be able to do that.
Yeah, yeah. Um, do you have a date? So, do you have a date for your book that you're putting out about
No,
yourself?
no,
No, you don't have a
no,
date for your
no,
book.
no. I'm still trying to get it together. No. No, absolutely not. I wish I could say that I did, but it's a process. It is. It's much more work than I ever imagined. Not that I'm afraid of hard work, but I didn't realize that I would have to be so disciplined. And I'm busy because when I'm not working, I'm a mommy. I'm an auntie. My whole life just totally shifts gears.
Could you tell me a little bit about your children?
I have a son who's going to be 20. I
Oh.
have a great niece who is 6. And they're fun and exciting, and they take a lot of my time up.
So I normally during my show, I normally ask my guests, do they have any questions for me? Like, do they have any questions for me? So I don't know if you have any questions for me, but if you do, I'm here to answer.
Um, no, not really. I never thought of that. What do you see in your future?
I see in my future. I never knew that I would be able to reach the figures and the people that I reach with a vlogcast or a podcast like this. And I still want to say thank you again to viewers and also thank you again to you to being reachable. And like something like a medium like this or a platform makes it so that we can communicate. That's what amazes me.
Okay.
that's what that's what really amazes me.
You didn't exactly answer the question. What do you see for yourself
Oh,
in
and
the
my future
future? Yes.
performing. Okay, so performing live, doing more with the Indie Spotlight and the Indie Spotlight Special Edition, and hopefully going back to school for a bachelor's in some part of music business, whether it's marketing, journalism, or something like that. Something like that. I can't really think of the rest of it, but that's really what I see myself in the future, what I see myself doing in the future. And hopefully one day and one time that I will actually get to meet you in person.
Well, the world is slowly opening up. Get vaccinated.
Yes, yes. Is there anybody that you know that has already been vaccinated?
A ton of people, all in my family, co-workers. I know a whole lot of people. And we're doing a big vaccination event with the Black doctors on Saturday at the
Oh
Dell Music
wow.
Center.
I'm sorry, say that again. I'm sorry. It went a little black, a little
The
muffled.
Dell Music Center this Saturday with the Black Doctors COVID-19 Consortium. We want people to come out and get vaccinated. You don't have to be registered. Come on out and get vaccinated.
Okay,
It's
guys. So
immunity
come on
for
out
the
and get vaccinated.
community. It is. It's immunity for the community. We want the world to open up. So we're encouraging people get the shot. COVID is still here. COVID is still killing people. COVID is still making people very sick. It has not magically disappeared. It is still here. Protect
Yeah,
yourself and protect others.
yeah. And I heard there's a lot of different strains and different mutant
Yes, it
strains.
is. And they're deadly. And a lot of people are getting sick.
Okay, there's a question. Sorry, I was just looking at a few questions to find out if anyone was asking any type of questions. So I wanted to ask, um, what school did you attend when you were younger?
South Philly High Motivation. I didn't go to college.
Awesome. Awesome. And I think that that's like one of the things where I see a lot of people, or I see a lot of like parents and a lot of people say like, try to push their kids to go to college and all that other type of stuff, but you don't have to.
Well,
You
I
don't have
think
to.
on one hand, for many people, college has served as a great way of meeting people. The
Mm-hmm.
college experience is amazing. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have a success when you get out here in life, but for
Mm-hmm.
many people, they need to go through that. I had my first job when I was 18 years old. I turned 18 6 months after I graduated from high school. I was on the radio. Um, you got to have determination. You got to have a good attitude, and you have to know what you want. You got to be able to show up.
Mm-hmm.
No one's going to hand you anything in life. So for
Mm-hmm.
some people, I don't down. Do you need a college education? It depends. If you're going in the medical field or something like that, yeah, you need to hit those books. But if you're going into something and you're using your talent, if you have talent, a great attitude, a great work ethic,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be able to make it.
What was the first radio station you worked at? You were saying you started working right after. Was that right after high school you were
Yeah,
saying?
6 months after high school at WSSJ in Camden, New Jersey.
Wow. What type of radio station was that?
It was everything. I played everything from Sinatra to Elvis Presley to Top 40. I did the news. I did it all. It was this kind of groundbreaking station where I played a ton of music, different styles, did news, learned how to do commercials, and really got a chance to cut my teeth.
Wow. Wow. Just to be able to do so many or to wear so many hats and to do so many things. Was that really, really hard to learn?
Not for me, it wasn't. I was excited. I was a sponge. I was like, bring it. I want to learn. I want to do. So for me, it wasn't. I would always get intimidated by equipment, but soon that would go over and I'd roll up my sleeves and be ready.
Right. So, if anyone wanted to get an internship or work at a radio station, what are some of like things that they could do or
Right
some
now,
tips you would
none
give
of
them?
that is happening because of COVID. None
Oh,
of that is
okay.
happening right now because of COVID. Our
Right.
building, no one comes in our building. So there is no internships. When things start opening up, there are places that some of them will have a paid internship,
Mm-hmm.
through college groups, but right now, none of that is taking place.
Right. Right. So after you go to the radio station in Camden, where did you go next? And how long did you stay there and where did you go next?
I stayed there 4.5 years. From there, I went to an urban station that flipped formats and went country. I stayed there for a while, and then I went to Power 99. Then I went to DAS. Then I went to Q102, and then I came back to WDAS.
How long were you at Power 99?
I was at Power 99 for almost 2 years.
And then when you went to Q102, how long you were at Q102? Because those are like the ones I'm really, really, really familiar with.
I was at Q102 for about maybe 13 months.
Was there anything that you can say that was different from the atmosphere at Power 99 than Q102?
Not really. Not really. It was really the music. You're working with other jocks and, people who work behind the scenes at radio stations. It was, if you were a Radiohead, you were there.
Hmm. So you stayed at WDAS the longest?
Yes. Yes, I would say maybe uh 32 years. DAS
Wow.
has been a part of my life.
Wow. What is the atmosphere like?
Well, now it's quiet because of COVID, but
Right, right.
you have business people, commercials, the atmosphere where you just have everybody is working. I work for iHeartRadio, Q102, Power 99. You got a bunch of different radio stations and everybody's coming in and doing their thing
Where's iHeartRadio
in
located, or is
Ballard
that?
Kenwood. Ballard Kenwood.
Oh, oh, okay, okay. So does both of your shows air on iHeartRadio and WDSFM?
iHeartRadio is
iHeartRadio.
WDAS.
Oh, okay.
iHeartRadio encompasses WDAS, Power 99,
Mhm.
Q102, The Gambler, WRFF, and The Breeze 106. This is iHeartRadio Philadelphia. They are in every market in this country, and we make up iHeartRadio Philadelphia.
Wow. There's also an app for iHeartRadio and WDSF, right?
iHeartRadio, if you download the app, it's free. You
Mm-hmm.
can get all the iHeartRadio stations. iHeartRadio and WDAS are one.
One or one.
We're one.
I like that actually. Like I just like the way that you said that.
Well, we are. There's no
Mhm.
separate. We are iHeartRadio. We are an iHeartRadio station. If you download the app, you're going to get
Mhm.
WDAS.
For an inspiring host and journalist, what is like the best way to find topics to speak about? I know you can speak about like topics,
You can
popular
turn on the
topics.
news. You can look and
Mhm.
see what's trending. You can see what's happening in the world. There's always something to talk about. It just depends on are you sports oriented? Are you entertainment oriented? Are you news oriented? There's always something because every day something new happens.
Oh, here's a question. Okay, so Tracy Sweet 44571 said,
What
what
are
are
some
one
of
of
my
your
favorite
favorite
genres of music?
Mhm,
I love
mhm.
old school hip hop. I love old school hip hop. Just reminds me of when I was a teenager. And I love disco music. I love disco music. I love Donna Summer. I love disco music a lot, but old school hip hop.
Yeah, okay. And someone is saying, Stephen 54, Patty, do you remember?
I remember
Um,
that. I remember that person.
okay. Could you tell me a little bit, if you want to, excuse me, about who Stephen 54 is referring to?
She was a jock that was on Q102 many years ago.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. Okay, okay. I'm still taking some questions, everyone. But oh, do you have any products or merchandise for sale, as such as
No,
like a online store or anything?
no.
No, no. Okay. Hmm, so, uh, when you're working at the radio station, how much of like digital, because I always had like a problem working like a lot of like digital stuff, like some computers and stuff like that. How much of that is incorporated in what you do? How much of
Everything,
that do you need to know? Okay.
everything, everything.
Do they teach classes on that?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure that they do. I don't know where, but I'm pretty sure because if you learn computer stuff or if you learn how to work a board, you got to learn somewhere. So I'm pretty sure there are places that would show
Mm-hmm.
you, like
Mm-hmm.
how to do certain things.
Mm. So, so here's another question. It says, "Oh, how do
That's
you grow your brand?"
how do you grow your brand with a lot of hard work. through podcasting. I have a YouTube channel. I work social media very hard. Um, you just grow it by really like being in it, and I'm very consistent. I pride myself on being consistent.
Great advice. Let's look at another question. Oh, what's this? Who do you credit as the first female rap group?
I credit Sequence. They had a song called "Funk You Up," and Angie
Mm,
Stone was in the group. The first female to ever record a song was Lady B to the Beach Hall, and she's in the Guinness Book of World Records.
mm. I love music history. Awesome. Let's see. Uh, okay. Here's another question.
Yes, I
How?
do remember D. Lee. He's got the
Mm-hmm.
best Pop Lee, fabulous family, and he's the one who came up with Wendy's. How you doing? That
Mm.
was D. Lee. That was all D.
Wow.
Lee.
Wow. See, now I said was one question down here. I'm sorry. Was one interesting question down. I'm trying to get it. Okay. This is another question. Dex. I can't pronounce your name, but I know it says Dex.
It's Dex Stuckey. He's one of
Dex.
my fellow podcasters. How have I been
Oh.
able to reinvent myself so many times? You know, to last in this business for 39 years, you
Mm-hmm.
got to learn how to go with the flow. I didn't want to do social media. I refused to do it. You got to find somebody, you find a youngin who's willing to teach you, and then you go at it. You got to adapt to everything that's going on. Social media has changed the game, but
Mm-hmm.
there's so much more than social media. It's a balancing act because you don't neglect radio for social media. They go hand in hand. And if you learn the trick of consistency and working hard, you can grow your brand through social media and whatever you're doing on air. I never thought I'd be doing YouTube videos, and that is what I do every day.
Mm. Definitely dropping some knowledge jewels on us. I want to make sure that I asked, where do we find? So where do we find you at again? Like on
Patty
all like all the
Jackson.
social media.
Patty
It's Patty
Jackson.
Jackson.
Patty Jackson. That's how you can find me on YouTube. Miss Patty Jackson on Twitter. WDAS Patty. On the gram, Facebook, Patty Jackson. You type in Patty Jackson, you're going to find me.
Oh, okay. Someone said they don't have a question. They just want to compliment your beautiful voice.
Oh, thank you so much. God has really blessed me. And my voice has developed because I sounded like a kid. My boss found when I was playing country music, and he was like, God, you sound so young, just like a kid. But I came out of high school, and that's why.
Yeah, yeah. Oh no, I'm sorry. That question you I'm sorry. That question you already asked. I wanted to ask a question about your hair. So how long have you been growing your dreadlocks or having dreadlocks? How long have you had
Well,
dread
they're
dread
locks. They're called
mm-hmm.
locks.
Locks? Mm-hmm.
This is a wig because I just recently cut all my hair off to deal with my traction alopecia, which is hair loss around the edge of your head. But this is a custom made locked wig.
Oh, it looks beautiful.
Thank you.
It is beautiful. So I want to make sure I have that on there. How long have you been dealing with alopecia?
Actually, I think I've been dealing with it since the 90s, but I've just
Mm,
really been tackling it within the past like 2 years or a year and a half, year and a half, year and a half.
Yeah, I started like finding more out about it because I know like Wendy Williams, she talks about her alopecia a lot. And I know another like a comedian, they talk about it a lot. So
Yeah,
how
well, it happens. Hair damage. You get older, menopause. It could be from a number of things, but a lot of times it comes from doing dumb things to your hair abuse, too tight braids and weaves, and you know, just damage to the hair. Over perming your hair. So there are a lot of reasons why you can start experiencing hair loss.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. Um I see like my camera was like really like pixelating and I don't want to miss anything that you're saying. I don't want to miss anything that you're saying or miss like the video or anything like that. So before I wrap up the interview, I wanted to ask you, was there anything that you wanted to add or talk about before?
Have a good attitude in life. It'll get you far. When you're mean
Mm.
and nasty, you'll find limitations. But if you're willing to embrace and never get a chance to, or forget the chance to help others, never forget
Oh,
that chance. You can never get to a point where you say, I've made it. I don't have to help nobody. It doesn't pay to be selfish. It always pays to have a great attitude.
wow. I think that, yeah, that was great. Exactly. So I wanted to thank the guests and thank you again. And I always like to thank you for being very reachable because sometimes you can't reach people, but I do want to thank you for being very reachable and thank the guests and thank everybody that asked questions. And also, I wish I could hug, but I can't because we're virtual and pandemic. So
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for the compliments. Good luck. Good luck in all that you do. Thank you.
thank you so much, and good luck to you and well wishes. And everybody, come to the. Could you talk about that one more time? The the COVID, the mass
It's
COVID
this
study.
Saturday at the Dell Music Center, 33rd and Ridge. It's the Philly Vax John with the Black Doctors COVID-19 Consortium. Starts at 9 in the morning, goes until 4. DJ Gary O will be on site spinning music. The
Mm.
Moderna vaccine is the one that's going to be given out. Come out and get ready to roll up your sleeves. It's going to be an amazing day. Immunity for our community.
Oh, I love that line. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Thank you again, Patty Jackson.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a great evening.